Okay, so today we're comparing humbuckers versus single coils for metal music, for metal guitar. Now this is an age-old comparison with humbuckers traditionally winning this, but today I'm going to try it out for myself. For the humbucking guitar, I'm using the Ibanez RG550 Genesis, and for the single coil guitar, of course, it's the Fender Telecaster. I've written a little demo metal song. Let's hear it first, and then let's talk about what we heard. And of course, this video is not sponsored by any of the brands shown. All right, let's talk about it. And first, let me just get the obvious out of the way. Yes, the single coils, they do buzz under high gain. I edited out the buzzing at the trail end and the leading up to parts of the guitars. You know, when I'm not playing, there's just the buzz there. I got that out. I didn't do any special EQ at all for either of these guitars. It's the same presets that I've made. For the distortion, I'm using Archetype Nolly X from No DSP. That's the rhythm and the leads. And then for the clean, I'm using Petrucci X. The only thing I did differently is for the single coil guitar for the Tele, I turned up the preamp gain on my audio interface. So does this prove that your amp settings or plugin settings matter the most and not the choice of guitar or pickups? Well, beyond the physical limitations of the single coils, the 60 cycle hum, the buzzing, yes, the settings, the EQ, the effects, like how much distortion you're using does affect the tone more, it seems. And I could absolutely add some more mid-range, say for example in the single coil leads, to just thicken up the sound some more, thicken up the tone. And call me crazy, but the more I listen to this comparison, the more I'm liking the distorted rhythm tone with the single coils. It's got that little bit of extra presence, but it sounds like it leaves more room for other things like a singer, like some keys, maybe an accordion. You get the idea. Is it impossible to achieve that kind of tone with the humbuckers? No, I don't think so. I could scoop out the mids or something like that. I would have to just change the EQ. I've gotten so used to having a mid full tone over the years with all the songs I've made that this has been very eye-opening for me. It just goes to show that if you try something completely crazy different, even if it doesn't end up being your go-to, you can still learn a lot from it. In my own experience of recording and releasing a bunch of music over the years, I find it is possible to try and refine your guitar tone, but I do learn a lot more from that, from trying something completely different, taking my learnings and applying it. This is also why I don't have any templates made. I haven't made any templates for my Cubase sessions. It's because this has just been such a learning process over the years that every few weeks my templates would be obsolete. I did try it once or twice, but I ran into that problem. This has also been great to see what's possible with single coils, because the last time I had a Tele with true single coils, that was when I was starting out learning guitar. And back then, you know, as a teenager, I wanted something that wouldn't buzz. I wanted just a super metal, shreddy, super strat. You know how it is. For my distorted tones, my rhythm tones, in general, I've been trending towards less and less gain. So that also is in part why the single coils were reasonably viable for the rhythm section. Now, would I use noiseless single coils, the not true single coils? I think they're stacked humbuckers, but would I use those instead of true singles for metal? And yes, that is entirely possible. I've been using humbuckers for metal for a very long time, but my Strat here, it does have the Fender noiseless single coils. And at first it was a learning curve for me, you know, something new, different kind of pickup. But I do think actually it would be entirely possible, because then you've got a tone that is close enough to single coils, but doesn't have the 60 cycle hum. All I'd have to do is keep experimenting with the EQ, with the settings to try and get the thicker tone that I'm more used to, or maybe I'm trying to go for a more thinner, lower gain tone. It's all possible. Trying noiseless single coils in metal, though, is a topic for another video. At the end of the day, the conclusion I'm drawing is the following. Humbuckers are still the go-to for heavy metal tones. Outside of the obvious limitations of the buzzing of single coils, though, the single coils are a somewhat viable option. They can sound pretty good, especially with the right settings. As a side note, the most difficult thing about this video was just switching between the two guitars pretty quickly. Switching between the thin neck and the flat radius of the Ibanez, it was quite a shock to immediately pick up the Telecaster, which does have a thicker neck, a rounder radius here. I wrote and first recorded the little demo song on the Ibanez first, so then switching to this, it took a few practice runs to then be able to do it. Not that it's a particularly hard song or anything, that's just how it was for me. But anyway, what are your thoughts? Are you always going to use humbuckers for heavy metal tones? Do you want to give single coils a try? Have you been using single coils this whole time? Be sure to comment down below. You know, this is YouTube, so I have to say the YouTube things. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share the video, print out every frame and mail it. Join the Discord to continue the conversation. And if you're looking for something cool to listen to, I'm on all major streaming services. Heisey Productions, I do original songs and video game music covers. And as always, peace.